All right, as we get closer to the start of the first bout of the day, I'll give you some rundowns of who you're going to be seeing out there on the floor. For the officials, we'll see Chemical Restraint, Danger Muffin, Buzzed Lightyear, M Power, Peter Colas, Rec Support, Cheshire Stats, Category, Phantasmic, Viva la Evolucion, Mimi First, James Joyce, Kyle Crocodile, Toxic Narcotic, Trogdora the Jaminator, Bang Test, and Hannah Ballistic. So those are going to be the skating and non-skating officials. Going to keep it clean. Going to make sure we have a nice, clean game. Taking the track shortly here in black, we're going to see the Boston All-Stars coming from Boston Roller Derby, the Wicked Smart Roller Derby. When you see them out there, number 13, get ready to get wet, it's Monsoon. Number 100, try to keep up, it's Down Her. Number 120, she'll get her revenge, it's Electra Cute. Number 1230, he's electric, it's Sparky. Number 183, you ain't getting around her, is Felix Black. Number 2 is Real Fly, MC Slammer. Number 21, she's got evil intent, it's Malice. Number 23, don't leave it at a crime scene, Trouble Helix. Your captain's number 25, talk about reflected light, it's Rainbow Crush. Number 30, do you have a prescription? It's DVS Harmacist. Number 337, she's here for a reason, it's Agenda. Number 36, scheduled for demolition, Structurally Unsound. Number 4, it's a Stampede, Mayor. Number 749, she's got one thing on her mind, Homicide, it's Wednesday Addams. And number 999, put 'em up, Let Me At Her. On the other side, we're going to see again today, as we saw yesterday, Meet Me in St. Louis, the arch rival roller derby, wearing white and pink. Number 1057 does it for the honor of Grayskull, it's Shira Powers. Number 14 is Okie Dokie, it's Loki Dokie. Bum 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 Bum, number 18, Slatetoven. She'll leave you in a starry night, the captain, 1853, Vicious Van Gogh. She flies with attitude, number 23, Pegasus. Well, hello there, number 27, R2 Destroy You. All hail the fearless leader, number 48, Bricktator. If you don't fear here, you will fear no evil thing, Cruella. Dinner's ready, Swanson. She's Lux Fast and Lux Furious. She knows the devil, Donna Diablo. Kay Woodward's got the big buildings. Ooh, Barracuda, it's hot. Kicker, she's Irish, Erin Gobrawl. And if she don't get her way, Tempo Tantrum. And we are off with our very first jam of the day. Arch rival immediately out, getting lead jammer status, and around turn 1, engaging with the pack. Welcome to day 2 of Silence of the Jams. So, as Annie Swanson is battling to the front into turn 2, gets released, has picked up her 4 points, and is coming around. Meanwhile, we have a star pass to Wednesday Addams. Wednesday Addams receiving the star pass. Is coming around turn 3 to turn 4. Annie Swanson picking up some points, deciding not to call it yet, letting it skate on, despite the fact that the other jammer for Boston is now picking up points on their own. This is arch rivals' strategy. We saw it early in the game yesterday. Early in the game, they say, let's play and let's pick up points first. In the meantime, Boston has been able to send a couple of their blockers to the box, which allows Annie Swanson a little bit cleaner air there. Coming up to turn 1, on the inside, once again, oh no, they're going to call cut the track on Annie Swanson. Annie Swanson's going to have to go to the backs. So we're going to go to the full 2 minutes of this jam as a result, but which gives Wednesday Addams perfect opportunity to start picking up some points. Right now, though, Wednesday's got to go backwards. All the way back to turn 3 is Wednesday Addams, waiting for one of her blockers to get out of the box, and now she's ready to start engaging again. So, Wednesday, pulling back, trying to get more of her blockers. The other one's coming out of box 2. She wants to get some clean air. Nope. No more time left. Because she couldn't call it off, she was slowing that jam down. Keep the arch rival jammer in the box to start the next jam. All told, arch rival was able to pick up 14 points, and Boston was able to pick up 8. 14-8 in favor of arch rival. So, with Andy Swanson coming out of the box, the jam begins. 999 Lemmy Adder is jamming for Boston. She's trying furiously to find an inside route, but is unable to do so. Meanwhile, Annie's on the outside, very quickly engaging with the pack. 2 jams in a row for Annie because of having to start in the box. Meanwhile, Lemmy Adder all tied up on the outside. Just when she thought she had a lane, it gets slammed shut on her, so she's trying back again. We got a lead jammer, and it is Annie Swanson. So your dinner's ready. Ding. Now she's getting jammed up in a tree wall, unable to find any headway, any light there. Here comes Van Gogh. She's trying to bust it open for her, but is unable to free her. Meantime, in the back, Lemmy Adder's got the star in her hands, but got nobody to pass it to because the pivot was too busy blocking up here. Got their hands full with Swanson. Swanson's through. Swanson's scoring points. Here we go on the inside, the apex jump, landed it. There's your 4 that she's looking for. Meanwhile, Lemmy Slammer, trying to make the star pass, decides not to do so and re-engages the pack. Swanson on the outside. Oh, and a great diving block from MC Slammer, able to stop her from coming around the outside, gets her to go backwards. Adder in the back, unable to do anything. Here comes Swanson, another 4 points. Coming around to turn 3. Boston, in the meantime, hasn't been able to get out of that pack. Slammer on the inside, tiptoeing, keeps in line, another 4 points. Swanson picking up where she left off yesterday and being a dominant jammer with the multi-scoring passes. Arch rival setting the tone early here. So here comes Annie Swanson on the outside. She's putting her hands up, letting the team know, like, that's that. That's going to be end of the jam. We come to our natural 2 minutes. They used every second of that 2 minutes to get to a 30-point score total. 30-8 in favor of arch rival. Right now, being able to dominate with early lead jammers and be able to get multi-passes. So, for Boston, we're going to have number 4, Mayer, going to be jamming. And then down there, we're going to have for arch rival. I can't see that far. I'll tell you as they get closer. I think it's Brick Tater. Yeah, it's Brick Tater. All right, so Mayer on the outside gets denied. Going to go back and try over. Meanwhile, Brick Tater tried out the center and gets forced out on the outside. Brick Tater getting circled back around. Both jammers being pushed out and having to restart multiple times. Whoa, and there you go. Brick Tater, when no one was looking, found that outside. Hit it like a streak of lightning. Woof, right through the outside, coming around turn 4, getting ready to score. Meanwhile, Mayer is locked down on a tree wall. She's trying to figure out exactly how she's going to break out and is getting some help from one of her blockers, but they're able to reform immediately around Mayer, not letting her go anywhere. Brick Tater gets a hard hit, knocked out of bounds, is going to re-enter just before turn 4 to try to see if she can engage in some scoring here. Mayer at the front of the starting box, still not able to get anything done. Has pulled the star off her head, but right now doesn't have a pivot around her because the pivot is too busy with the blocking. Now she's regrouped with the pivot to make the handoff, but has not officially made the handoff yet. There you go. That's the handoff. The star pass has been made, and once again, Wednesday Adams, the recipient. As soon as that happens, Brick Tater gets through, scores some points, and says, let's try this again. So a very, very quick start on behalf of arch rival, as was yesterday, 34-8 in favor of arch rival. Arch rival's going to send out another killer jammer that had a killer day yesterday. That's Hot. They were really, really top-notch yesterday, and we'll see them for the first time today jamming. So for Boston, number 13, Monsoon is there. First time we've seen them on the track. Right away, Hart out immediately. Ooh, Barracuda. Hart right away out. But Monsoon doing a great job. Monsoon got out very quickly themselves. That's going to put the pressure on Hart. Hart looking at the bench. Should I call it? The bench is saying, skate on. This is our early game strategy, remember, is score points. Don't worry about getting 4 and out. So Hart goes through. They've picked up their next 4. Meanwhile, the Pack has done a good job of surrounding Monsoon, forcing them out on the outside, pulling them back to turn 4 to restart. Monsoon with a head of steam. Ooh, but can't quite hit that gap of time. Hart's doing what Hart does, going through, picking up points. Right now, the total is 46 for Rival, but they're looking to pick up more. Hart on the ground, a little slow to get up, but I think they're just slow playing it. I don't think there's a hurtness there, per se. All right, so they're getting drugged all the way back to turn 3 by the pivot of Boston. Meanwhile, the Pack has really put Monsoon at a standstill. The waters have dried up for Monsoon. Hart threw again for another 4. That brings the total to 50 right off the bat. And Monsoon turning the feet, pirouetting back and forth from the inside to the outside, trying the middle, not seeing what she's looking for. So Monsoon kind of pulling back a little bit, waiting to see if they have a better opening. Hart was forced out as they was coming around turn 4. So they're going to say, that's all I'm going to get out of this. Let's call it. So after all of that, the total for Arch Rival is 3, and the total for Boston is 12. We're going to see a couple of new jammers for each team come to the line today. Well, for the first time today is what I'm trying to say. DVS Pharmacy is jamming on behalf of Boston, and Loki Doki jamming on behalf of Arch Rival. Boston, with their first lead jammer status, is DVS Pharmacy. Do you have your prescription ready? Here comes Pharmacy, bowling through, powering through. Slathoven unable to slow them down. They're out and they're scoring. They're picking up the 4 points. Now Loki Doki has been able to get out. The Pack is at a standstill around turn 2, getting ready for the jammers. Pharmacy, just like a ghost, just blew by everyone. Lowered his shoulder, didn't get anybody touch her. Right through for her 4. Now, right now, Boston's saying we need points, so we're not going to call it early. That allows Arch Rival to pick up 4, and they're going to have to stop it before Arch Rival picks up any more. So Arch Rival was able to tighten up after initially giving up some points. It's 57-24 in favor of Arch Rival. That was a really strong jam from DVS Pharmacy. Very quick out of the track, very quick around the track. But a good job from Loki Doki, Annie Oakley there getting involved, making them call off the jam before any more damage was done on that behalf. All right. So, what do we got going here? We got Donna Diablo. She'll beat the devil out of you. Jamming up against Lemiata. Both get out of the pack very quickly. Speeding up. Donna trying to get the hips around, but gets stonewalled. Lemiata right to the front of the pack, gets knocked down on the outside, tries the inside, is pirouetting, back down again on the outside. All right, they're going to have to go back and restart that. Meanwhile, Donna Diablo from the inside to the outside, through the middle. Ooh, getting pulled down for a second, but back up again. Bodying up by Felix Blocker, but through. Felix blocked her, but had to let her go. So, meanwhile, Lemiata started off real strong, but has been slowed down by Arch Rival. That's something we're already seeing in this bout. The Arch Rival blockers are doing a great job of reforming quickly around jammers, so that even if they're out of the pack, they're slowing them down, not letting them get out of the pack too quickly, even on a scoring pass. Meanwhile, they forced out the jammer for Arch Rival, who's had to go back around. Ooh, the pivot, Vicious Van Gogh is going to be in the box for Arch Rival. Diablo still trying to find some daylight. Meanwhile, Lemiata finds a great inside track, gets out. Now Diablo's on the heels, trying to score their own points. So this is an exchange of points here that we got going on right now. Diablo looking around like, should I call? What should we do here? What's the clock looking at? They're both basically on each other's heels, scoring with each other in succession. And I'm not talking about HBO over here. Both packs have stonewalled each. Just when Diablo thought they was about to get out, boom, they get knocked and decide, let me call it because the other pivot's back. We're at full strength. Let's go for our next jam. It's 69-31. So again, both teams able to pick up double-digit points on there. Both teams able to increase their totals, but arch rival able to hold on to the lead. So we're going to see Swanson return for jamming on arch rival, and we're going to see Mayor there for Boston. All right, Mayor, stomping the feet like a horse down the track. There goes Mayor. Your lead jammer for Boston. Meanwhile, Swanson trying to find her way through on the outside. The tri-roll is reformed. She ain't going nowhere. She's getting stopped. Ooh, they force her out. Good job by Malice forcing her out and having to come back around. Mayor on the inside. Great job on the inside at the apex, scoring the 4 points. Coming around to score more. Swanson, though, has reformed, finding something right up the center, and is able to get through. There you go for initial pass. Swanson, they're going to come around. She's going to be able to put pressure on Mayor to either call it or she'll be able to start scoring points. Mayor looking at the bench like, what do you want me to do? The bench is telling her, keep going. We got to get points here. No need to call it at this point. All right, so Swanson at the front, Mayor at the back. Both of them are facing tough tri-walls. Mayor able to, for a moment, get around the outside, but immediately the tri-wall turns and re-engages her. Mayor toward the back, Mayor pushing, and they have to let Swanson go. Swanson picking up 4 points and coming around. They're going to tell her to call it, and now Mayor is going to call it. 73-38 in favor of arch rival. You know, what you're seeing there is cases where they don't mind trading points for the first go-around, hoping that they get more scoring opportunities than the others. But it didn't work out in that particular case. Swanson going to have to deal with a little bit of a problem with the skates. Anyway, we're ready for the next jam as both jammers are lining up. It's Brictator versus Structurally Unsound. All right, Brictator forcing their way through, bodying shoulder to shoulder, unable to be slowed down. Brictator is your lead jammer. Here, the fearless leader. Meanwhile, Structurally Unsound is in the back and is trying to find from either side, the inside or the outside, some daylight to get through. Brictator has scored. Structurally Unsound is still battling with the blockers. As Brictator finds an outside lane, no one at home, easily able to go through. This is a huge jam for arch rival. Now they finally are able to form a 3-wall to stop Brictator, and they make the star pass. So now rearing the star for Boston. What do we got there? It's Felix Block was the pivot. So they got the star now. Felix Block. Felix is bodying up on the inside while Brictator has gone around for another scoring pass. Just when Brictator tried the outside, they stopped her. They forced her on the inside to keep her from getting there. They forced her outside of the inside of the track. Little tongue twister there. Felix Block facing the tri-wall. Gets bodied up by Vicious just when Felix has some daylight in front of him. Meanwhile, Brictator's throwing girls off his shoulders. Skaters, I meant to say, off his shoulders. She looked up the ref, said, that's enough of that. I think I've made my point. It's 89-41 in favor of arch rival. So this is what we're seeing so far is exactly what arch rival was looking to do. Get out early and often. Hart is going to be jamming for arch rival, and I believe Monsoon is going to be jamming for Boston. So they're off. Hart going from the inside to the outside, and vice versa with Monsoon. She has to go back to the beginning. Meanwhile, Hart is at the front and through. There they go. Your lead jammer. Magic hands. Magic feet too. Hart engaging with the pack. Doing a little bit of juke moves there like a running back. Wow, look at the fancy footwork they have. That's incredible. Right through the pack like Moses through the Red Sea. Hart on a scoring pass. Meanwhile, Monsoon, unable to get out of the pack, has been drawn back. This is something we're seeing often with what arch rival's able to do against Boston Jammers, is not let him out for that initial scoring pass. Oh boy, once again, Monsoon saw an opening and tried to attack it, but arch rival closes those gaps so quickly. We're coming around, Hart trying to score. Ooh, gets tripped up there a little bit, picks up 4 points. Meanwhile, Boston made the start pass to Wednesday Adams. Wednesday's right behind Hart, and Hart said, you know what, let's call it. Let's redo this. Downer, in the meantime, has to go to the box, the blocker for Boston. It's 100, and it's 41. We got a little bit more than 12 minutes left in this first half, and so far it's been all arch rival. Now, coming up for Boston, last time she jammed, she was able to get a really great scoring jam. I'm sure that's what they're looking for DVS home assist. And then Lucky Dokie, who's a great jammer, had a great day yesterday, coming up for arch rival. Right to the front of the pack goes Loki Dokie, able to get around the blockers. Loki Dokie is your lead jammer. Meanwhile, DVS is at a standstill with that tri-wall back there. There's a little pirouette on the inside. She must have got the dancing class when she was younger. Loki Dokie, Annie Oakley. So we're looking at the jammer for Boston, DVS. No movement, basically 4 feet in front of the starting line. That's how much of a stone wall, and I'm not talking about hurling bricks, this tri-wall has been. Even when DVS gets out, got a little bit of air, they immediately reform, doesn't let her out. Loki Dokie's been around, has gotten the points, is coming around again, dancing from back to forth, picks up another 4. DVS in the meantime able to get out for their initial pass, and now looking to score. Going to engage with the pack on the outside. Ooh, wasn't able to get past them. They're going to get drawn to the back. Meanwhile, Loki Dokie on the inside was able to find what she was looking for, another 4 points for arch rival. Huge, huge jam from arch rival. DVS trying gallantly to shoulder with the defense. Not able to get out. So all told, 16 points in that jam for arch rival. Oh, they're going to give him 19 on that one. And they're going to pick up 4 for Boston. 119 to 45 in favor of arch rival as we get toward the 10-minute mark of this first half. Mayor's going to go back out there jamming for Boston. And Donna Diablo's going to go out there jamming for arch rival. Diablo, right away, like a bat out of hell, your lead jammer. Mayor says, you know what, let's get this going. Star pass to Wednesday Adams. Here comes Wednesday around turn 4, right through. For a second, Diablo tried to throw a block. Wednesday went right past it, so Diablo said, let me get back to jamming, and they're around the track themselves. Wednesday on the outside, pushed out, will have to go backwards. Meanwhile, Diablo, now the tri-wall is reformed around Diablo, slowing her down as she gets into turn 1. So the action has come to a halt here. Vicious Van Gogh looking to break up that tri-wall, moves it a little bit, and does just enough to get Diablo free. There goes Diablo. Here comes the pack. And that was Pegasus, pardon me. Pegasus was the one who broke things up, not Van Gogh. Pardon me. So, as we resume the action here, Wednesday Adams unable to find any clean air, get through that pack for a nice clean scoring or second scoring. And Diablo tiptoeing along the edge, wasn't sure, said, okay, let me go back. I don't want to get it cutting the track. So decides to loop back around and re-engage. Mayor, who was started off as the jammer, is playing defense, but has to let Diablo past her. There goes Diablo, scoring points. Arch likes to, they like to get what they get. So if they get 2 minutes of jamming, they want to jam for 2 minutes. So they still going. They're not looking to call nothing. Oh, they are going to get a penalty on Diablo. But that's the risk when you keep jamming. You put the risk of getting yourself in trouble. So we get to the natural 2-minute end. right as Diablo, the jammer for Arch Rival, gets to the box. So they were able to pick up a ton of points there. It's 135 to 49, but they're going to start this next jam without a jammer. We're going to take a timeout here and talk things over. One moment. All right, so as we have this break in action, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, 888, 187 Killer Pads, Brews Boutique, Skate Good Club, and Union Square Spinal Care. That's a tongue twister for me. Thank you, our generous sponsors. Thank you for our Twitch audience. If you're watching us on Twitch, let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know who you're rooting for. Thank you so much for joining us on Twitch. All right, as we get ready for the action to resume, again, Arch Rival 135, Boston 49, with a little bit more than 8 minutes left in this particular half of the first bout of the Silence of the Jams Game 2. Arch Rival's manager going over there, wanted to talk to the refs, just reminding them of some things to keep in mind as their jammer starts in the box. This will allow Boston's jammer to be, Lemmy Adder, to be all alone. Lead jammer, she's looking at the refs like, that hit was late. But the ref's saying it wasn't late, you gotta keep going. So she got drug all the way back around because of that hit that forced her out of bounds after turn 1. So now she's engaging with the pack. She is the lead jammer. Here comes Diablo. Diablo's doing it the old school way where she thinks she got to go around the track to get back in. She doesn't remember that she could go the opposite way now. It's old school derby there. Diablo's got on her mind. So we got both jammers engaged. Remember, we have our lead jammer. It is Boston's jamming Lebiata, but she is bogged down. Meanwhile, the jammer for Arch Rival coming out of the box, Diablo, she's trying to get through on her initial pass so she could start scoring. There was a forearm call against one of the blockers for Boston. They're in the box. There goes Diablo through on her initial pass, which is poisoning Lebiata, ready to call it. Then she calls it. So after all of that, because of that crucial block that was made after turn 1, right as Lebiata got lead jammer status, lead jammer was through the pack once, but never got around the track to go through for scoring. So it was 0-0 on that one, 135 to 49 in favor of Arch Rival. That's a smart heads-up play from the blockers of Arch Rival, because that last little pushed her out, didn't have to go. All right, Swanson is going for Arch Rival. DVS Pharmacy going for Boston. Swanson at the front of the pack. She got a 2 walls she's dealing with because Boston's down some blockers. Trying the inside, able to stay in bounds. There's your lead jammer, Swanson. DVS Pharmacy, though, great job because Arch Rival down some blockers as well. So DVS is right on the heels of Swanson. They're both engaging the pack. Swanson letting her team know, we're not planning on calling it. Push it, push it, push it. So engaged in the tri-wall in both cases with DVS just after turn 2 and Swanson going into turn 3. The pack is broken up. They have to let Swanson go. That's for Swanson. Swanson coming around turn 2, just as DVS has to re-enter on turn 2. DVS taking the time to make sure they're looking for the right hole, engaged on the outside, but then gets pushed to the inside, then back to the outside. Meanwhile, Annie Swanson, once again, through turn 3 to 4, 1 to 2, ready to score. Wow, the juke move. Barry Sanders out there. Annie Swanson. Wowzee, wowza. That was incredible. Was untouched through the pack on that scoring. DVS made the pass. So now the star belongs to Felix Block. Felix Block getting the same treatment as DVS. A stone wall they can't get past. That's that jam. Multiple points picked up by Arch and 4 points picked up by Boston. It's 151 to 53 in favor of Arch Rival. We're under 5 minutes here in the first half of the bout, and it has been all Arch Rival so far, despite some really good blocking and some valiant skating on the half of Boston. We're going to see Brick Tater, the fearless leader, coming out for Arch Rival. and we're going to see Stamp Your Hooves Mare coming out for Boston. Right away, Brick Tater to the front of the pack. They're trying to slow her down. They got some great blockers up there for Boston, but she's really moving her feet. She was pushed out by Rainbow Crash, but is able to get back on the track and find an inside track that no one saw. Boom, right away. Very heads-up play. Very heads-up play. Mare has been battling very tough. She, on the outside of turn 1, stopped in her tracks, saw the inside, moved quickly, able to pirouette around, and there she goes. Mare out of the pack, ready to score. Brick Tater, remember, is your lead jammer. Brick Tater just pulled up 4. They're telling Brick, keep going. Don't stop. So they're going to keep playing as Arch likes to do to score points. Points are important in this association, remember. So they pick up some points. They give up some points. But they think they got the better of the deal. Brick joking with the ref there saying, 2, I thought I picked 3 on that last one. It'll be 157-53 in favor of Arch Rival. 3 minutes left in the half. Structurally Unsound is, I believe, going to jam. Ooh. Right then, an official review is being asked for from Boston. All right, as soon as we get an update on what the official review is and the results, we'll let you know. But that's a stoppage in play with 2:49 left in the half as they want to talk to the officials and get them to review something. Rainbow Crash up there asking for the review along with their manager. And, of course, St. Louis, Arch Rival, sends their manager out to be aware of what's going on and to put their own 2 cents in as the refs discuss what they're looking at. Thank you all for everybody who's tuning in the chat. Pooh, we got any interesting places that people mentioned they were watching from? A lot of Boston. Oh, wicked smart Boston, huh? You guys are just don't hate on me. I'm from Brooklyn. I know Boston and New York. I know. Don't hate on us. We love you when it comes to Derby, even if we don't like you when it comes to baseball. Oh, wow. That's incredible. We got some great people coming from all over. Thank you so much for everyone. Remember to tell us who you're rooting for. I know you're using emojis, but also use text if you can tell us who else you're rooting for. Thank you so much to everybody. All right. Officials say play on, player. It's 157-57. Hart jamming for Arch Rival. Immediately out. Really incredible stuff. Structurally Unsound. Wow. Moving their skates as quick as they can. Finds that outside lane. Great job from Structurally Unsound. Out of the pack and around. Right on their heels is Hart, who's already scored once and is looking to score again. Hart right through the same outside that Structurally Unsound used earlier. There goes Hart. They're picking up points that you left on the ground. They see a penny, they say, I'm picking it up. They don't just walk by it, huh? That's how they pick up their points. Meanwhile, Structurally Unsound is stuck behind one of the tough tri-walls I've ever seen. I mean, that wall looks like there is no door frame in that wall. Nowhere to walk through on that wall. They get it to the ground and cycle her back around. Hart got held up so momentarily, gets out, looks at the bench. The bench says, keep going. No reason to stop now. We're under 2 minutes in the half. We're under a minute in the jam. Keep scoring points because the defense has locked down the jammer for Boston, Structurally Unsound. There goes Hart, scoring some more points. Structurally Unsound, almost through on the inside, but just tripped up on her own teammate's skates. Has to get reformed behind the tri-wall. Now the defenses have locked both down. We're at a standstill, but not for long with Hart out there. Ooh, Barracuda. Hart through the outside. Keep going. The coach is telling them, keep going. This is another monster jam coming out of Arch Rival. In this case, Hart having another great jam. Through the center. Picking up points after points. 181-57. That was a huge double-digit multi-scoring pass jam from Hart. Really incredible stuff. Really incredible stuff. Now, an official review is being called again. We never got word about that last one. Well, let's see what this one's going to be about. So another stoppage in play as we have a minute left. Now, sometimes these teams use their official review at the end of a half just as an additional timeout, right? Instead of using their actual timeouts. So let's see what happens here. We'll let you know if we hear of anything that's being changed after this review. 181-57 in favor of Arch Rival. A minute left in this half. We're going to see at least one more jam. Depending on how that goes, how quickly that ends, will we have time for a second one? I don't know. The way Arch Rival plays it, I doubt it, because Arch Rival uses all 120 seconds when they get lead jammer, right? And in this case, if we do see Boston get out to lead jammer status, it would depend on whether they think they can pick up a quick 4 and then they have to call it, as to whether or not we'll get another jam in this half. Thank you to everybody who's listening from all around the country and all around the world. Thank you to Gotham for hosting this wonderful event here in North Arlington. Thank you to 888 187 Killer Pads, Gate Good Shop, Brews Boutiques, and Union Square, Spinal Care. Our great sponsors who are helping us make this week worth it. Is that pork chop sandwich back there? Yep. Cheering for pork chop is not jamming or skating in this game, but is leading the cheering section. Meanwhile, Boston's got their own cheering section going on as well. So we got a lot of action here from an action-packed crowd on this Saturday early evening. All right, they're going to add some points for Boston. It's 181 to 61 in this particular case. So a few extra points on behalf of Boston after that review. So we're going to have Lemmy Adder is going to be jamming on behalf of Boston, and Loki Doki on behalf of Arch Rival. Loki Doki pulled to the back after being forced out. Ooh, Lemmy Adder getting pushed out by Shira Powers in honor of Grayskull. That gets pulled all the way back into the starting box, but still toward the front of the pack. Meanwhile, Loki Doki has been able to find their way through. Wednesday and Malice trying to slow them down, but nope, they have to let it go. There's your lead jammer, Loki Doki. As we have less than 30 seconds left on the game clock, we still have just over a minute left on the jam clock. I have a feeling we're going to go for more than just 30 seconds. You're going to see double zeros on the game clock, and we're still going to be playing because Arch Rival likes to get every bit they can get, right? I guess their Folgers drink is down to the last drop. There goes Loki, tiptoeing on the inside, working to the outside. Is able to tip over the blocker and keep her feet, so Loki picking up those points. Meanwhile, Boston unable to have gotten out of the pack cleanly again. A lot of action going on there. Wednesday Adam to pivot down to the knees. There was the star pass to Wednesday. Wednesday's bent over, taking it a little bit slow, signaling to the pack, come back here, help me out. We're going to stop Loki from picking up any more points, is what she's saying to the pack. Loki got another idea about that, though. Loki to the front of the pack, pushing up against who was our original jammer, Lemmy Adder, who's now playing defense. There goes Wednesday. Wednesday facing up, shoulder to shoulder to Loki, pushing Loki out. Loki looking at the refs like, yo, where's the forearm? Ref saying, nah, I didn't see no forearm. Loki taking their time, coming around. We're going backwards here, all the way to the starting lineup. Loki says, forget it then. That's it. We're not playing anymore this half. Half over. We proved our point. She immediately goes up to the ref to remind the ref, hey, watch those elbows. Do me a favor. It's 197 to 61 as we enter intermission halftime here in bout 1 of game day 2 of the Silence of the Jams Roller Derby Tournament. Arch Rival able to continuously push. Whoa. Stop everything. There's an official review being asked from Arch Rival. They did not like that last play, that block by Wednesday Adams, and they want to talk to the officials about this. So even though the halftime clock is running, we're still going to have an update to you on how that's going to end and what they're going to assess. We might see someone start the second half in a penalty box. We'll let you know as we get updates. In the meantime, just to recap what we saw in this first half, Arch Rival picked up where they left off yesterday. They get out, they get around, they score early, they score often. Multi-scoring passes is the name of the game for Arch Rival. They'll give you some points because they know they're getting theirs, Bernie Mac style. On the other side, Boston, they had a couple of good jams there where we get out, get lead jam status, get around the track, but haven't been able to rack up those multi-scoring passes, right? And too often, their jammers are not able to get out of that pack at all to begin with. So they're not rivaling, they're not putting the pressure on Arch Rival to even slow them down or to get them to call things early. That's why we have such a point disparity, 197 to 61. Of course, don't use that as an excuse to tune out or tune off, because remember, this is roller derby. Scores can flip at a drop of a hat. You can pick up 16, 24, 38 points in one single jam, right? In 2 minutes. All right, we're going to stop for a commercial here. Is that what we're doing, Pooh? All right, we're going to stop for a commercial. Full complement of blockers on each to start jam 1, second half, bout 1, second day, silence of the jams. 5 seconds and we begin action. All right, on the outside, both jammers stacked up. Annie tries the inside and DVS follows, but DVS forced out and has to loop back around. Meanwhile, Swanson is just pushing the 2 blockers that are up against her and making headway. Wow, Swanson gets lead jammer, but DVS doing a great job on the inside of jumping out and is in front of Swanson. They're battling like a couple of gladiators going around that track. The idea is speed the pack up, make it a horse race, see if Swanson can get some points before harm assist. Well, that's how it normally is, but remember, it's arch rival. They want to keep scoring. They're not going to go for just a couple and call it off. So both skaters are now engaged in the pack. DVS doing a great job tiptoeing that inside line. Not the lead jammer, but the first jammer to pick up points in this second half. Annie bogged down a little bit, but now is able to speed up. The tri-roll reforms around Annie as a Swanson as she is from turn 2 to turn 1 to turn 2. It's slowed down a little bit, but they're going to have to let the pack go here in a minute. There you go. Swanson has to be let go. Swanson's out. Swanson scores their 4 points. Dinner's ready. Ding. Here comes on the other side, on the inside, DVS harm assist. Your prescription is ready for pickup. Swanson tiptoeing the inside. That gets shut down. Going toward the middle. Finds a space and is through. Picking up their own 4 points. So both jammers here trading points. Oh no! There was a block, an illegal block on behalf of DVS. That's going to send the jammer for Boston to the box. And Swanson, who has lead jammer status, is now able to jam on her own and call it. Soon as she sees DVS get to the box, Swanson calls it. Meaning, let's start the next jam without Boston having a jammer. So, strategy paid off. That was an eventful jam. It's 209 to 71 in favor of arch rival. Lots of points scored on our first jam in the second half. As we mentioned, Boston's going to be down a jammer as DVS has to start in the box. Jamming for arch rival is Bricktator. Bricktator very quickly through to the outside and then finds some defense blockers, slowing it down, but able to power through. So, as they're coming around, a little exchange between Slaytoven and Malice. And while that's happening, Bricktator, here the fearless leader, is through. Bricktator's coming around turn 4. She's got her blockers in front of her, acting as a blind, and is able to, after a hit from Wednesday Adams, to pick up her 4 points and get around the track. Arch rival picking up where they left off. Gets pushed out of bounds after turn 4, and so will be brought back at the bottom apex. Meanwhile, for Boston, DVS took a little time but figured it out. DVS out for the initial pass. Arch rival says, let's pick up quick 4 points and call it. Another big jam for arch rival, 21 to 71 after our first 2 jams of the second half. Yeah, arch rival really picking up where they left off. Their bench making a lot of noise. They got all the energy. They got all the momentum. They're really feeling themselves here as we start our second half. We're going to see 999, Lemiata, going up against 89, Hot. Ooh, both take a little bit of a running start, so to speak, hitting the lines early, but Hart, the one who's able to get through. There they go. They're coming around turn 4 as your lead jammer. Lemiata, unable to find some daylight. Ooh, hitting a very strong block, which cycles it back around, unable to get through. This tri-wall that's being formed is insurmountable at this point. and so Lemiata unable to find. They're going back and forth, seesawing, trying to see if an inside and outside will clear up, but nothing doing. Meanwhile, the pivot for Arch has cycled back, trying to break up the tri-wall that has slowed Hart down in their path, but unable to really do anything. We're getting a penalty on one of the Boston blockers, which frees Hart, but also frees Lemiata. Both jammers skating together. Looks like couple skate out there. Whoa, an apex jump from Lemiata. Landed on the back of Hart. That's a penalty. Lemiata's got to go to the box after that. Hart looks okay. Hart gets up and says, I'll take my revenge with the points, thank you. So, as both skaters come around, or as Jess Hart, comes around turn one, they're through quickly, picking up another 4 points. Another monster jam for Arch Rival. Lemiata's up on her skates, getting ready to leave the box. Hart calling it, picked up a few points and calling it before Lemiata gets out, right? Because again, what that means is now Lemiata's got to start at the box. Even though they'll be released pretty quickly at the start of the jam, she's going to have to go all the way down to get back on the track of play, whereas Loki Doki, who's going to be jamming for Arch, is going to be able to start right away from the line, right? So this is a strategic play that jammers often do when they see the other jammer about to get out of the box. All right, the pack at the top of the box, they're going to go as quick as they can because they want to eat up time before Loki is able to get lead jammer status, allowing their jammer out of the box. The strategy doesn't quite work as Loki is able to push the blockers and get lead jammer status. Now, in the meantime, Lemiata coming with a full head of steam. Lemiata out of the box, able to get out of the pack very quickly and is ready to score. They come up to a tri-wall and try slipping through with a turnaround, but get stopped in their tracks. Here comes Loki Doki. She's already picked up her 4 points and wants some more. Lemiata pushed to the outside, getting cycled back around by She-Ra Powers and re-engaging with the pack. Once again, pushing outside. Now Lux Furious in the back, making sure that Lemiata has to start back in behind turn 2. While that was all happening, Loki's just going around, picking up points that people have dropped on the floor, it would look like, and with the ease of which is happening. What's happening is the blockers are getting so caught up for Boston with what's happening, trying to help their jammer out, that it's allowing Loki to find a slip through unseen. Wednesday Adam trying to reform the pack into a tri-wall to finally slow down Loki after their jammer Lemiata gets out. But Loki breaks right through that arm length. It was like Red Rover. They called Loki over. Lemiata did a great job of forcing the call from Loki, probably earlier than Loki wanted, but the damage was done. It's 257-78 in favor of Arch Rival. They continue to have really, really big jams in this second half, the same way they did in the first one. Boston hoping to spark something by sending Giddy Up Maya up to the line. She's going to be jamming up against Donna Diablo. So on the inside, Diablo not finding anything. Same thing with Maya. Now they're both going to try the outside. Neither can find anything, so they're stuck in the middle with you. And just like that, Diablo able to squirm through. The Boston is slowing Diablo down, but not able to contain Diablo. That's your lead jammer, Donna Diablo. She beats the devil out of you. There you go. Whoa. Donna. Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. Right through that pack. Zip, zap, zoop. Picking up the 4 points. Don't forget about Maya. Maya took a little time, but was able to get out of that pack on the initial time. He's got to start scoring, but, whoa, little change of strategy there from Arch Rival. Arch Rival said, you know what, this time let's stop them from scoring points by calling it before they get a shot. They picked up a number of points and said, we're going to stop Maya, who is coming, stampeding around turn 4, from being able to score anything. It's 265-78 as we approach 21 minutes left in this bout. Swanson is going to return, and for the first time in the second half, Monsoon is going to return to the jamming line. Here comes Swanson, the jammer for Arch Rival, right away to the front. We've seen her do this a number of times so far in this bout. Immediately get through the pack and scoring right away. Meanwhile, Monsoon doing a good job of getting to the front of the pack themselves. She-Ra Powers is shoulder to shoulder. They look like a couple of warriors out there. And Monsoon is able to get past She-Ra Powers. Both jammers scoring. Now, great job from Monsoon. Tiptoeing along that inside. Picking up the quick 4 points. Putting some pressure on arch rival now. Monsoon gets forced as she tries that inside line again out of turn 4. And it gets sent back to turn 3. Swanson says, I'm going to bully my way through this tri-wall. Breaks it up on her own. And now she's through for 4 points herself. Here comes Swanson trying that inside again. It's blocked. Tries the outside. It's blocked as well. Swanson finds the inside for herself, and she's through. Ding, dinner's ready. Remember to remove the phone before you start eating. Here comes Swanson engaging with the 3-pack. Meanwhile, on the 3-pack of her own, trying not to get a block in the back with her hands up, her hands behind her back, is Monsoon trying to push through this 3-wall, and instead the 3-wall able to push her out of bounds. Wow, really incredible work from the blockers. It was She-Ra, it was Slaytoven, I think it was Pegasus. I think those were the three doing the blocking. Incredible work from arch rival. Swanson through again, picking up some more points. Meanwhile, Monsoon, after scoring initially, not able to get any more points on the board at this time, stuck behind the pack. Here comes arch rival, here comes Swanson, here comes 4 points. You know the drill. Monsoon getting cycled around, Lux furious, getting called for a penalty, going to the box. That's the end of that jam. So while arch rival was able to pick up multiple scoring passes, unfortunately, Boston wasn't able to pick up more than that initial pass. It's 285 to 86 in favor of the arch rival Roller Derby All-Stars. They're going to give 2 extra points to Boston. They're going to say they had their hips around by the end of that jam. So 2 extra points to Boston. All right. So DVS Harmacy able to get out early through a fury of bodies. Lead jammer. Bricktator out themselves and is speeding up to engage with the pack just as DVS engages. So both skaters on the pack. Brick pulling out, pulling off, coming inside. Brick scores first, though she's not lead jammer, but DVS is able to get out and score themselves. So another 4 for Bricktator as they go through, and DVS turned away by the defense and unable to go. So gets the signal from the bench to just call it, because at this point it's a losing bet there. They're giving up more points in the scoring despite being lead jammer. 95 to 93 in favor of arch rival. You can see there's some adjustment Boston has made. They've done a good job of getting some lead jammer statuses in the second half, but again, not able to string together enough scoring passes and not able to stop arch rival from putting together multiple scoring passes. We're taking a timeout here from Boston. They want to talk things over. Want to say, let's get back to the strategy we had been working on. So as we take this time to stop, thank you all in Twitch crowd. We really appreciate your support here. Gotham loves roller derby and loves the leagues of the Northeast region of the WFTDA, as well as all the leagues around the world. And we're so happy to have all of them here as part of this Silence of the Jams tournament. I'm Pallet Jack, and I'm happy to be part with you on this Twitch stream. I've seen incredible derby, and I've been so glad to be able to call it with all of you. To start our next jam, we're going to have Hart is going to be jamming on behalf of arch rival All-Stars. And we're going to have, who we're going to have there, I'll tell you in a second. I can't see the jammer for Boston from my vantage point. Both jammers are engaged in the pack. Hart is toward the front for arch rival and is able to get around on the outside, get that lead jammer status as they are wont to do. There is a star pass, so now Wednesday Addams for Boston has the star and is around that track. Hart scoring their points. Wednesday Addams engaged in a big hit, but able to get up and get it through. 4 points for Wednesday Addams as Hart is pushed out on the outside of turn 4 and brought back around to turn 3. Wednesday, good job slipping through there, making quick work of that and picking up another 4 points. Hart, in the meantime, was able to pick up 4 points of their own. Wednesday are engaging the pack in turn 4, able to get through mostly. Ooh, but just at the very last minute, Pegasus comes, puts a little hit on her, knocks her out of bounds, slows that scoring down. Both jammers now on the out of bounds, going backwards. Don't get dizzy with this backwards motion here in Derby, as both teams are dragging their respective jammers back. We get any further back, we're going to see Marty McFly in the time machine, the way we're turning back time here, right? It's like Cher out there. If I can turn back time. They're going backwards here. If they keep this up, they'll be at the start of the jam. Wow, look at this, folks. I think I got to get some Dramamine. I'm getting dizzy. All this backwards skating. Wow. Hart looking at the clock saying, all right, let's do this for a couple more seconds. Get to the end of this jam. If we want to go backwards, we're going to go backwards. And there you go. How's that, folks? It's like when you go on one of those carnival rides and they stop and they go, we'll give you a couple more minutes going backwards on it. Huh? That's fun. That's fun. We got just over 15 minutes here left in this half. 306 to 105 in favor of arch rival. And the merry-go-round goes round. They're going to send Loki Doki out, and they're going to send Mare out. And just before the jam begins, they're going to call a timeout from arch rival, asking for an official review. So far, the official reviews not very successful, but each team uses that not only to try to overturn calls, but also as a way to talk to the refs in a polite, calm manner to help remind the refs what they might be wanting paying a little more attention to. Of course, our refs are doing a great job as always, as the managers are themselves when they call these official reviews. 306 to 105 in favor of arch rival. Just under 15 minutes left in this bout. All right, so an update what that official review was all about. Arch rival felt that after the star pass had occurred, the pivot who had turned jammer had cut the track, but they determined based on the positions of the skaters involved that there was not a cut track on behalf of Boston. So we're ready to get going. It's Loki Doki. It's Mare. We're resuming play with just under 15 minutes left in this bout. And they're off. Both on the outside, but Mare quickly turned to the inside. Gets turned away and back toward the center. Meanwhile, Loki stuck with the outside, and it worked. Around as your lead jammer, Loki Doki, Annie Oakley. Jammed up on the inside, tiptoeing. Ooh, wasn't quite able to make it, so Loki has to get back around. Meanwhile, Mare was drawn back to turn 4, but found, and there is Mare out of the pack, looking to score on their next pass. Loki gets through, scores 4, told to keep going. Mare engaged with the pack on the outside of turn 4, but gets pushed to the ground and back up again. Here comes Loki Doki on the inside, on the outside, straight up the center. She's trying everything, and she finds it. Loki Doki through for 4 more points. Meanwhile, Mare trying to look for points on this scoring pass, but unable to get out of a very, very tight wall of skaters. Loki coming around turn 4, gets forced out into the straightaway, goes back around, enters, finds a lane up the inside of the track, and scores 4 points. Comes around turn 3 to turn 4, looking to score more. Mare is battling, gets a huge help from their pivot, but unable to really get through the pack. That separates enough for Loki to squeeze through while no one's watching. And with 30 seconds left in this jam, Maya finds a way through and scores 4 points. Meanwhile, so does Loki. Loki says, all right, I'll call it. We got ours. Let's call it and start a next jam. It's 326 to 109. Another double-digit multi-scoring pass jam from Arch Rival. That is what they call their M.O. Lemmy Adder is going to be jamming for Boston, and Donna Diablo is going to be jamming for Arch Rival. So as they start with the packs directly in front of them, Lemmy Adder trying to get a little ahead of his steam. Meanwhile, Donna was pushed to the back, skates quickly to get back on track, and is almost able to get through, but hit the ground on the inside of the track. Here comes Lemmy Adder. She sees the inside lane. She's able to keep her feet. Lemmy Adder. She is your lead jammer. She's coming around to score. Donna able to get out of that pack and is going to be putting the pressure. They're giving the signal to Lemmy Adder not to call it, to just keep jamming, looking to score some points. Donna unable to tiptoe the way through the inside of the track, and so has to be cycled back around into turn 4. Donna's making very quick movements and unable to get out, but Lemmy Adder played possum for a little while and then found that inside of the track. Able to get through, get around. That's 4 for Lemmy Adder. Lemmy Adder with the jump. She's looking at the ref. The ref saying, I'll go back if I was you. You don't get that cut track. So she goes back. She's ready to go. Meanwhile, they've pulled Donna Diablo all the way back before turn 3 and engaging with the pack. Both jammers now up against it. Donna finding the inside, but Lemmy Adder not finding the outside. Here comes Donna Diablo. Here comes the inside of the track. There goes that. Another points picked up for both sides. It's 3:30. It's 1:17. 11 minutes left in this half. So once again, Arch Rival doing a good job of, even when they don't get lead jammer, putting the pressure on and being able to pick up multiple scores even when they're not lead jammer. Signaling over, it's 3:32 to 1:17. They gave 2 more points to Arch Rival, by the way. All right, Pegasus had started in the box. So had Rainbow Crash. Blockers on each side. Both of them are out of the box and entering the field of play. Swanson, in the meantime, was able to nuke right through there. That's your lead jammer. Swanson engaging the pack for some scoring. What we're seeing right now is Swanson bodied up on the outside, but able to push with these 2 jammers, or these 2 blockers. This is something we've seen happen often with Swanson. The ability to isolate 2 jammer blockers on their own so that they can't form the tri-wall and slow her down. Really, really great skating from Annie Swanson. In the meantime, DVS Harm Assist is the jammer for Boston, and they've been able to get out of pack themselves and are coming up on the inside. And before they're able to get much more than a point, Swanson calls it. So it's 3:40 to 1:18 is going to be. But we're taking another stoppage of play here. All right. We didn't get any word back what the official review is, but the scores haven't changed. 3:48, 1:18, and nobody else is in the box. So I'm guessing they didn't overturn whatever was called. So Mayer able to tiptoe on the outside, but just as Mayer gets lead jammer status, Bricktator able to get out and has clean air, whereas Mayer is still within the pack. The pack is going to have to let Mayer go here in a moment, and does, but is able to slow Mayer down so much that Bricktator has already started engaging in scoring. They were able to force Brick out of the track on the inside, which is bringing Brick back around to turn 1. Mayer engaging in turn 2. Both of these killer jammers are engaged with some tough defenses, and neither are able to have really gotten through for scoring. Rainbow Crash comes to break up the tri-wall and try to spring Mayer, but it doesn't work. They're able to stay together. Now they're forcing Bricktator out on the inside, but she was able to quickly rebound and on the outside of turn 2, get through, score her 4 points, and come back around. Mare, on the other hand, were unable to get through the pack as planned, and so decides to call off the jam, picking up 4 points for Mare, picking up an additional 4 points for arch rival. It is 348 to 118. Feels like there's 4 points that have not been listed yet on that scoreboard. Hold on a second, folks. There you go. There you go. Boston got the 4 they deserved. It's 344 to 122 on the scoreboard. Thank you very much. Hart is going very quickly through this pack. From the outside into the inside very quickly. Their pivot tried to come over and give them help, but instead jammed them up by accident. That allows Monsoon to get through. Your lead jammer. Get ready to get wet. It's monsoon season. Monsoon coming around and engaging. Meanwhile, Hart has been stopped in their tracks and unable to proceed. Both teams have their pivots in the box right now. So it's just blockers against jammers out there with no one else. What has that resulted in is almost a complete standstill. Even when Monsoon got a little bit of air, pushed to the outside. She possums her way back onto the track, which caused the blockers for arch rival to try to break Hart loose. And when that happened, she hit the gap as quick as she could. However, they were able to recover while Hart got out. So, picking up points is Boston, calling it off just as arch rival gets there. Just so you get an update, Boston thought there was a black in the back. There's a lot of B's and L's in there, in case. Block in the back, but it was incidental contact. That's what that official review was about. All right. Thank you so much to Solomon for giving us that heads up. Here comes Loki Doki on the inside, jamming for arch rival, to the outside, jamming for arch rival, to the middle, jamming for arch rival. Whoa, Wednesday Addams was not about to let it go, but had to. Here comes Loki Doki, jamming for arch rival as your lead jammer. The star pass, Wednesday laying a big hit and immediately getting back to action and getting the star pass. So now Wednesday Addams coming around, trying to score some points as Loki Doki gets around turn 2 during another scoring pass. As Wednesday has been stopped in the tracks, she is looking back to see what's happening. And what she's watching is Loki Doki bull their way through into a penalty call for a block in the back. So Loki Doki's going to have to sit for a little while, giving Wednesday Addams a chance to score unrivaled. This is rough. Now what's going to go is we're going to go a full 2 minutes because our lead jammer went to the box, right? So if Wednesday can get out quickly and score some points, this could be to the advantage. There's a little over 50 seconds left in this jam. What can Wednesday do with it? Right now, Wednesday's facing some pretty tough defense that's not letting her get past the bottom apex into turn 4. They've been able to eat up enough time that springs Loki Doki from the box. Loki Doki coming up. Loki Doki's blockers able to really create a beautiful pathway for her, and she's able to pick up 4 more points coming out of the box. This is a tough jam for Boston. When the other jammer goes to the box and you are unable to take advantage of it, that qualifies as a tough jam. Loki Doki through again. Loki Doki engaging with the pack, not being stopped in any way, picking up 4 more points. Arch rival keeping going. They do not want to call it. Well, they can't call it, remember, because she went to the box. So we go to our 2 full minutes. And what an incredible jam for arch rival. They got a full circle going on, 360. Boston got 130. A clinic being put on by arch rival when it comes to how you jam and how you block. Really incredible stuff. Of course, Boston putting up a fight, doing a lot of things right, and turning their legs as hard as they can. All right, so DVS home assist, unable to find the inside. Meanwhile, Donna Diablo, she beat the devil out of these blockers and got to the outside, and is your lead jammer. Here comes Donna Diablo, down on the outside, back up, and gets called for a block in the back. jams in a row. Arch Rivals lead jammer gets called for block in the back. Too many B's, too many L's, too many K's. So they're going to be in the box. I think I got that one right. DVS Pharmacist is battling very tightly with the pack and gets called for their own penalty. DVS will go in. Donna Diablo will come out. So once again, with the jammer in the box, Boston unable to take advantage. And in the meantime, Arch Rival, despite going to the box as the jammer, is able to come out and score points. If that ain't a microcosm of how this game is gone, then I might not understand what the word microcosm means. Donna Diablo was pushed to the ground, but gets back up. Meanwhile, DVS Pharmacist is out. She's filling prescriptions and handing out pain pills. Through the pack, coming around turn 3 to turn 4. Donna Diablo bodied up. Donna Diablo on the outside of turn 2 being drawn back. Pharmacist has done a great job of getting around the track quickly and staying in bounds, picking up 4 points for herself and for Boston. DVS Pharmacist engaging the pack around turn 2. Meanwhile, they've been playing a cat and mouse game with Diablo, pushing her out of bounds as she's getting around turn 2 and drawing her back to the apex. This time, she's able to pirouette ballerina turn through the inside, pick up 4 points, and that'll be the end of that 2-minute jam. Both sides picking up multiple scoring passes and ultimately resulting in 368 to 138. 8 points on both sides picked up during that jam. We have a minute and 42 seconds left in this half. And we're going to see Annie Swanson jamming up against Lemmy Atta. Swanson slowed down. Lemmy Atta pushed out. No, able to keep in bounds. Great job from Lemmy Atta, keeping a balance, not going out. Swanson is at the front, and for once they got 4 blockers on Swanson, not letting her out. Wow, what an incredible wall that Malice, Adams, Rainbow Crush, there's also Agenda. They were doing a great job keeping bodies on Swanson, not letting her out. Now everybody's going backwards, including Lemmy Atta. They both enter around turn 3. Both jammers looking to get out and get lead jammer, neither able to do so. Once again, both pushed out, both going backwards, both re-entering at turn 3. Lemmy Atta on the outside, Swanson right through the center, and we have your lead jammer for this jam with just over a minute left in it, Swanson. Swanson's pushing the pack at the front. Lemmy Atta is trying to dance around the pack in the back. Swanson picking up 4 points, while Lemmy Atta is getting pulled backwards. Slaytoven's going to have to go to the box. Here comes both jammers on the outside heading into turn 3, both getting denied on the outside heading into turn 3. Another jam backwards for Swanson. Star pass made to Wednesday Adams. Here comes Wednesday Adams, seeing a line on the inside, picking up some steam, but just like that, Arch Rival able to close that. That was a 96 tempo tantrum, able to seal off that inside lane just in time to stop Wednesday Adams. Really incredible jamming work from Tempo Tantrum on that one. So both jammers are up against tough defenses here. That goes the end of the jam. Both teams picking up an additional 4 points. But Arch Rival had picked up more points before. It's 376. It's 142. That's the end of this bout. Your unofficial score in favor of Arch Rival. What an incredible first bout we've seen today. We're seeing some masterful jamming, but some incredible blocking from Arch Rival as they win over Boston 376 to 142. I'm going to get you the MVPs and be right back, so don't go anywhere. All right, so we got our MVPs there for Boston Roller Derby, nominated for Jamming MVP is number 4, Mare. And for blocking MVP, number 749, Wednesday Adams. No shock there, both doing great. For arch rival, Vicious Van Gogh gets MVP of blocking, and Hart gets MVP for jamming. Great job from both teams, giving us spectacular roller derby. Boston, this was their first bout as part of this Silence of the Jams tournament, and they didn't disappoint. Had some really great blocking, really great jamming, but of course, arch rival, doing what arch rival does best, getting out early, getting out often, and scoring.